Welcome back to the channel, hockey fans. Thanks for being here. Another late night episode. Avalanche versus Kraken live post-game rapid reaction, and here we are once again. We've been hoping the Kraken could find some solid footing, forget about another train wreck that occurred Saturday. They got pushed around by the lowly Edmonton Oilers, where they only mustered 9 shots through 2 periods, got wiped out 4-1 in their own barn. Coach Hakstol laid into the team the next day at practice, but tonight, good first period, but same old Kraken after that. And we're going to talk about it a bit tonight, you guys. Thank you for being here. Disappointing result. Game 16 of 82 in the books. We're going to break everything down. My name's Mike, Sasquatch NHL, the handle here. It's great to have you guys along. Despite the miserable result, let's recap things and chat about what we saw between the Avs and the Kraken. A little bit beside myself. I really thought that there'd be some sustained energy from the Kraken after that first period, and I feel like I got fooled once again. And here we are. So let's hear from you guys in the chat tonight. I got a couple of questions for you. Please vote on the poll. Even more relevant, I wrote it before the game. I was worried we were going to drop this one, and we ended up doing it. Do you think the Kraken need to make a trade right now, or are we going to give this roster time to get healthy? I feel like we're going to have to maybe start pushing not the panic buttons so much, but a few of the danger, we are in serious danger alert buttons at this point, because I think the next card that might be played after a trade is made or some significant moves, you might see that heat start to go up a little bit for Dave Hakstol. Unfortunately, that's the way the business works, and this team is not getting it done. They're not playing consistent, and there's just no excuse for it. We've seen what they're capable of. We've seen what they can do when they come out and they play together and they play with energy, and then they fall off like that again. We've seen it too many times this year, and, you know, critique is warranted, and especially in this market, people are getting ready to make decisions about renewing their 3-year contract on their season tickets, and I think those decisions are being made in real time. So let's hear from you guys in the chat. Going to read off a few comments here right away, right off the bat, as we go. Daniel Allen saying, call up some youngsters, and they've done that, the fourth line. You know, you've got some young guys, but really I think that solving these problems is going to happen through the core, through your veterans, you know, through some better consistency overall defensively. You can't blame everything on the goalies. You can't blame everything on one particular guy or one particular thing. It's just a systematic failure across the board so far in a lot of games this season. Inconsistency. Ty Jacob says, oh, buddy. Yeah, and Ty was out of the game tonight, I think sitting next to my brother up in those seats, so hopefully you guys had a good time despite the result. I bet you had a good time in the first period because it sounded like the arena was rocking, but after that, not so good. Daniel also says, can't stay, just stop by to say hi. So no problem. Thanks for being here, Daniel. Also, I'm going to send that bobblehead out here probably tomorrow. Daniel won the John Forsland bobblehead giveaway, so congrats to John. Like to do that kind of stuff on the channel here. So stay tuned, turn on alerts, all that great stuff. Subscribe if you would, please. It helps the channel out. Definitely hit the like button on the video tonight if you're enjoying the stream. Try to do this as often as we can. Hockey is pachinko. Another great comment there. Definitely. Carol's Dark Sarcasm says, doop-de-doo. Yeah, it feels like we're doing the whole thing over again. Groundhog's Day a little bit. Mile High. Good to have you back on the channel. I know you dropped by a few times during the playoffs. Nothing but love here on the channel. I'm a good sport. I take the L's. We're a young franchise. Probably should have played a little bit better, a lot better tonight, in my opinion. But congrats, Mile High. So season series goes to the Avs. We'll see. Maybe we meet again in the playoffs. I feel like there's a really good rivalry going here, and I would like to see that extend. But we got to worry about just making it into the playoffs at this point, you guys. There's a lot of detail work and things that need to be fixed, and this team has got a lot of issues right now. Let's try to break it down. Josh Schilling says, drastic changes may need to be made very soon. Things have fallen apart, but that Tanev goal, that was awesome. For sure, everybody loves seeing Turbo get back into the lineup tonight, injects that energy, and maybe that will start to spread. And that leadership's going to have to rise up. You know, the core is going to have to rise up, grab things, and try to propel this team forward, because when you get into these slumps and when you get into these inconsistent ruts that they keep having, you've got to see the leadership step up and that's what I'm hoping is going to happen. But they may be running out of time a little bit. Ron Francis, pretty patient guy, but might be running out of patience. So you may see a change. You may see a move. You may see all sorts of things are on the table at this point with this team. I would have been okay if they had shown up tonight, lost the game, but played all 3 periods, but they didn't do it. They did the same thing again, good first period, and then fall off a cliff. So let's keep going through the recap tonight. Poll results so far. If you guys haven't hit the poll question, please do. What do you think? Because I really want to know. Do you think the Kraken need to make a trade or some significant move right now? Or wait for the roster to get healthy? It is still, we're only 16 games into this season, but when you start losing pace, it's hard to keep up sometimes without a big win streak. They had one last year, but I don't know if they're capable of it this year from what I'm seeing. So far, the results, 83% people are saying need to make a trade now. So thanks for voting. Also, again, please hit that like button for me if you could as we get into the stream. Let's talk about things. And let me know in the chat, where are you calling in from? Where are you, sorry, not calling. We could do that maybe one stream. If you guys want to call in and yell into the microphone, I could hold the phone up and set up like a Google Voice number or something, but not really set up for that tonight. So just let me know in the chat what your thoughts are, frustrations, maybe some ideas for change. I don't want to talk about 3 stars or any of that stuff because it was just pathetic tonight across the board. But thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to get through this together. I've been here since season 1. Some pretty rough games that season, and we got through it. We're going to get through it again here, learn the game a little bit together, and hopefully have a positive outcome here in the next couple of weeks. But Ty coming in hot says, fire Hakstol, and I feel like that sentiment is maybe starting to build, and possibly more so because you saw what happened to Jay Woodcroft as the Edmonton Oilers came through town, a struggling team, no patience in Edmonton. They won the game and then still fired him the next day. I think things had been set into motion a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. That's definitely one of the poll questions I wanted to write tonight, but I didn't. But I think the next thing before that happens, Ty, I think you're going to see some significant move, some shakeup in the roster, probably the next card that gets played. Scooter Pinball, it's bad when the injured guy scores the only goal. Definitely. And you would think that the guys would kind of rally behind that, knowing Turbo just came off of IR, and he kind of carried the team, it felt like, in that first period, and then he wasn't able to do so. Understandably, you don't have your lungs, after you've been out of the game for weeks, and nobody followed it up. It was just Turbo in the first period. Joey Decord did the best he could, but, after that, just kind of fell off the rails. So, all right, let's get into the game day setup just a little bit. I feel like I'm frustrated, you guys, and I'm generally a pretty positive guy. I'll stay that way, but I also feel super frustrated tonight because I feel like it's just this constant fake out this year where it's like, okay, yeah, we were inconsistent. We didn't put up enough shots, but next game we're going to do it. And then they start to do it, and then they stop doing it about, the second period every single time. And then you'll get those games where they come and they win and things feel better. Maybe they can keep doing it, but then it's 2 steps backward again. And that's just maybe the team trying to figure things out still. Maybe the system, I'm not really sure exactly, but we're going to talk about it. So keep giving me your thoughts in the chat. Going to pop you guys up throughout the stream all night long here. Scooter Pinball says, give Hakstol some slack. He was your hero last year. Yes, he was. He was great. And that's why, these decisions, I think you have to be patient. I'm not a fire a coach every year type of guy. And I've called a few people out here and there about it. I think you have to be patient. Again, this is our 3rd season as a franchise. You're going to have these back and forth struggles. And as inconsistent as they've been on, the negative side of things, it wouldn't surprise me if all of a sudden this team went on like a 4-game win streak, and all of a sudden everybody's happy. They did it last January. They won that 6 games in a row, and all of a sudden right back at it, right back in the picture with the playoffs and everything like that. So we're not completely out of things yet. We're only 16 games into the seasons. I think we're just a couple of games out of a wild card spot. So as bad as it feels, you got to be patient, give it time, see what happens. But I do think some sort of significant move, some sort of change, a little bit of a shakeup has got to come. And maybe that's just moving some of the younger guys up into the lineup and dropping some of the other guys down, or sitting them down for a couple of games. So we'll have to see what happens here in a couple of days. Kraken going back up to Edmonton, trying to get some revenge. So we're going to talk about that one as well. Bailey Curtis, great to have you here. Surgecast just put out their number 100 episode. Hopefully that's the same Bailey Curtis, but big fan here. You guys do a great job out there. Zach, Kat, Bailey, tune into them if you don't. They are a great podcast covering the Carolina Hurricanes. Bailey says, great game, guys. Gave us a good challenge in the first period. Exciting game to watch. And Bailey's in the Colorado area, so got ties to the Colorado Avalanche. So thanks for being on the stream tonight, Bailey. Kraken, definitely not the type of hockey we like to see in the Seattle market, but we'll see. We'll see if we can improve a little bit, find some consistency, find, maybe just a shot in the third period or two. I think we ended up with one, but that's just terrible. Two shots. I feel like if we could get 2 shots in the third period tonight, I would be happy. No, I wouldn't. I'm just kidding. But yeah, 1 shot in the third period. Like, what are we doing? That's just terrible. And we had 9 through the first 2 periods the other night on Saturday. I'm flabbergasted at how inconsistent this team is, and it becomes a pride issue. It's got to become a pride issue for these guys. Okay, I'll quit blabbing too much. We'll get through this. Going to get into the setup. Going to give you guys my rapid reaction, describe the goals, look at the roster, some changes coming in. We're going to look at the stats. I got the game flow graphic. I cut it off, I think, at about the end of the second period, but that's all you needed to see. 3 stars, and those are probably going to be all Avalanche tonight. I don't have the Sasquatch scribbler hooked up because there's nothing I need to draw on the screen. I usually like to do that when there's a guest on too, but of course live chat with you guys as we go. But let's get into it just a little bit here. And again, answer those questions for me in the chat, you guys. I'd love to hear from where you're tuning in from. Represent your hometown in the chat. Also, do you think Dave Hakstol is on the hot seat just a little bit more? I do, honestly. And we're going to talk about the quote that he had on practice Sunday morning. Jeff Baker, I've got a screenshot there, was able to interpret what he was saying. But the poll tonight, do you think the Kraken need to make a trade right now? So hit that poll question for me. Or do you think the Kraken should reevaluate once we're a little bit more healthy? Bailey says, thank you, my friend. Yes, shout out. And you guys are always welcome here. We'll have to do a live stream, little crossover here again soon in the near future. I don't think we play each other again this year, but it's always good to have different friends on the channel. So thanks for stopping by, Bailey's. Great to have you. Okay, so let's get into the setup. I keep saying it, but Avalanche, they came in tonight, also a frustrated team, banged up just a little bit. Coach Bednar, not too happy with their results so far this season. They were 8-5-0. They were going to be 9-5-0. So even with the winning record, expectations pretty high in Colorado for this team. They had dropped 2 in a row coming into the evening. They got wiped out by St. Louis on Saturday, 8-2, and they had lost to Seattle last Thursday, so they get revenge tonight in Seattle. So the Kraken, they're coming off another terrible Saturday night at Climate Pledge Arena coming into the evening. Edmonton won the game. They fired Jay Woodcroft like we just talked about. So now maybe Hakstol kind of looking over the shoulder just a little bit because the boys cannot seem to figure out how to play a consistent 60-minute effort night in, night out, and that's not going to cut it. So something is probably going to change here soon. Not shooting enough. I mean, I'll keep saying it over and over. And this is what Hakstol was railing about at practice, stopped drills. And here's the quote from Jeff Baker. He said, talk about shooting identity. My ass. No freaking identity. No shooting identity. Shoot the freaking puck. And that was the sentiment coming into the evening. And how many shots did we get in the third period? 1 shot. So obviously that message didn't find its way into the long-term memory of the Kraken because they had a great first and that was it. Just no layers after that. Carol's Dark Sarcasm says, watching from my cavern of tears. It'll be okay, Carol. We're going to get through this one. I'm bummed, but I could still put a smile on my face because at the end of the day, it is just a hockey game. There's a lot of other things in life more important, but man, it's frustrating, especially when you think they're going to get it done. And again, they just kind of revert to their old ways, a little bit of that groundhog syndrome. I think you posted that on x.com tonight. Saw that, but yeah, something's got to change. Coach not happy. I don't think a lot of people in the front office are going to be very happy with this repetitive result that we keep seeing here in Seattle. It's not changing, and that's the problem for me. You're not seeing the progress. If it was a couple steps forward and then couple steps backward and then 3 steps forward, fine, but we're taking more steps backward than we are forward this season, and that's not good. You expect some offensive regression just scoring-wise, but I'm seeing way more than offensive regression. I'm seeing blown coverage. I'm seeing energy lapses. I'm seeing just completely out-to-lunch players throughout, second and third periods especially, but it's unacceptable. And, yeah, like I said, it becomes a pride issue, and I would bet that this team is not feeling so hot in the locker room right now, but you got to have the leadership step up, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so let's look at the roster. Brandon Tanev came off of IR today, so some good news there. Eberle also skating. That's great news as well. Really encouraging after that scary incident, getting cut by the skate. It sounded like it was up towards the quad muscle in the leg. So that means Devin Shore, great contributions from him. So he's cycled back down to Coachella Valley, the Firebirds, as Brandon Tanev now back in the lineup. And he, put his stamp on the game early, but nothing much after that. And again, not all Tanev's fault. Like, he put the team on his shoulders a little bit, but I think his energy, it's going to take him a few games to get his legs, get his lungs. So that's where you need the rest of the team to step up, and nobody was there. Take a quick look here, make sure I'm all caught up in the chat. Yeah, there we go. And I got to send a tweet over here. Okay. All right, so let's hear from you guys as we go. We're going to get into the recap now. Going to break down the goals, describe the game, tell you guys the story, what I saw just a little bit as we went. And it starts great, but it ends really, really bad. Frustrating one. Joey Decord starts for Seattle. Georgiev in net for the Avs. Also, Pavel Francouz, news came that he's done for the year, heading back to his home country and unrestricted free agent. So that may be the last time he plays for Colorado. Propelled them to that Stanley Cup just a couple seasons ago. And here we go. Kraken, a furious start. They're all over the place, breaking up the ice right away. We've got a 3-on-1. Tanev rings one off the post. Actually, it was the crossbar. Gets another chance on the rebound, so we're churning the legs early on here. And nice work cleaning things up in the defensive zone, putting the pressure on. They have the first 5 shots of the game, so it kind of feels like, oh, okay, they got the message a little bit. Maybe things are going to be different. And in that first period, they definitely felt different. Early on, we've got that big fight, big rig, McDermott. They drop the gloves, go at it. This gets everybody fired up. McDermott probably got the best of that fight, but, good for Big Rig, getting energized, dropping the gloves, and the Kraken fired up right after that. They break in on the rush. Winberg turns, sends the puck back up top to Vince Dunn. He shoots. It hits McCann in front, and Turbo Tanev right there going to the net, just like we've talked about. Backhands the rebound in, and we've got a 1-0 lead for Seattle here in the first period. And this is that huge emphasis that we've been talking about the last couple of days and weeks. Generate shots, create chaos in front of the net, and that's what they did. They didn't do enough of it the rest of the evening. Avalanche couldn't really get any sustained pressure going early on. Only one shot in the first 10 minutes. Seattle pretty efficient, getting out of their own end. 5:34 left in the first. Will Borgen goes for tripping, and the Avs start to find their legs just a little bit. Right away, the Kraken penalty kill. It hasn't been good lately, but, nice little flash here. They steal the puck. Tanev up to Winberg. They go 2-on-1. Winberg kind of passes to Tanev. The puck floating around a little bit. Back over to Winberg. He gets 3 chances, 3 whacks at it. Sends it home. Kraken appear to have a 2-0 lead. Avalanche challenged the play, though, for goalie interference. And it was goalie interference. Tanev's skate got into Georgiev there. Not a whole lot, but enough to move him, and the goal gets reversed. I didn't like it, but I guess that's how it goes. NHL goalie interference, who knows? He didn't really even move after he got bumped, but... So the Avalanche... escape danger there. And that was shorthanded for the Kraken, so the Avalanche power play continues now. It expires. They get a 2-on-1 rush late there. Nichushkin with McKinnon, and Vince Dunn breaks that one up, so some good defense there from Vince Dunn. Tanev late gets caught for tripping, so Avalanche, they get a power play that carries over to the second period, and this is where things start to go downhill for Seattle. Joey was good, though, to start the second. Ready to go. The Avs power play. Makar, a slapper from the blue line. It bounces off the boards really fast there. Joey snags it. So Colorado, they don't get through that power play without it taking a penalty of their own. Nichushkin gets a stick into Winberg, so that's going to be called for tripping. We've got a 4-on-4 briefly. Kraken, another glorious breakaway chance here. A great outlet pass fed up to Bjorkstrand. They go 2-on-0. Bjorky tries to go glove side low. It bounces off the pads up into the stands. Really would have liked to have seen that one cash in, but... And then the Kraken go on the power play briefly after that. They can't cash in there. And this is when the Avalanche really start turning up the heat. A cluster of chances in the Kraken zone. Some serious sustained pressure all of a sudden. Kraken failing to clear the puck. A few times they're extremely disorganized, chasing the Avalanche around in their own end. And Joey Decord, again, comes up with a big save, bailing out the Kraken. A couple of really key saves. They relieve the pressure. We go 12 minutes left in the second period now, and Joey, another huge save. That's where he kicked the leg over to the left post low. It stopped it. That was a highlight reel goal for sure. Save of the night, but things keep getting worse. 7:55 left in the second now. Colorado breaks through. They win a face-off in the Kraken zone. Devin Taves, a shot from the blue line. He was great in that second period. Avs crash the net, taking a page out of the Kraken's playbook. McKinnon, Rantanen cleans it up there along the goal line. Game's tied 1-1. Kraken called for another penalty just seconds after that. Tolvanen, tripping play, was kind of sneaky, but it wasn't too sneaky because the refs saw it. Crowd didn't like it, but that was a penalty. In Avalanche, strike again. Tatar feeding the puck up top to Devin Taves. Gets that good shot through, and the rebound comes to Ross Colton. He pokes it in, so it's 2-1 Colorado now. Avs working hard, grab the lead. Kraken have a couple of chances late in the second. Winberg, a shot all alone there, right by the net, and Larson also gets a shot not too long after that, but they cannot capitalize, and just continues to fall off a cliff into the third. Kraken have a power play that spills over, but nothing coming out of that. Nothing positive after that first period for the Kraken. It was just bad. 16:25 left in the third. Kraken again just spending way too much time in their own end. Joey has to come up with some more saves, and this is where you need that push back. You've got to wake up. This is the third period. You're down. Well, not yet, actually. It was tied, I suppose, at that point. But no, sorry. Yeah, you're down 2-1. Just no pushback. Just absent altogether in the third period. Avalanche extend their lead. Another offensive zone face-off win. They cycle the puck. It comes up to Makar. He walks it, whips it, and it's 3-1 Avalanche now. It just... love to hear from you guys on the chat, because I'm just like, where are we? Where's the focus? Where's the continuity? How many times are we going to have to learn this lesson this season? It boggles the mind how bad we used to be at starting games, and now it's completely opposite. We start games great, and just nothing after that. I just don't get it. Crazy. Avs keep buzzing in the third. Relentless pressure. Kraken looks shook. McCann and Taves called for slashing. Go 4-on-4. Just completely lifeless from the Kraken. 9:09 into the third. They go 2-on-1. McKinnon to Drouin. Drouin puts one in. That's his first of the season, so getting the monkey off his back, kind of like Matty Beniers did the other night. But, the Avs making it look easy. They've got a 4-1 lead, just cruising. They add another power play goal, makes it 5-1. 0 shots on goal for Seattle 18 minutes into the third period. 0. I'm not stuttering. I'm not mistaken. 0 shots 18 minutes into the third period for a team that was just chewed out by their coach at practice for having no shooting identity And we saw, I showed you that quote at the beginning of the stream, and it's the same identity. Unfortunately, they weren't able to figure it out tonight, and it's disappointing. So that's all I have to say about that game. Not a whole lot of positives. I'm trying to at least make this, somewhat life, a little bit of life for you guys on the recap and in the chat, but I'm pretty bummed out. This is not the team that I thought they'd be this year, and they're just not finding a way to overcome their shortcomings so far this season. So game flow for me, we're going to look at the stats, 3 stars, which will be Colorado Avalanche across the board, but let's look at the stats, you guys, and keep the comments coming. Let's look at the poll question real quick. I said, do you think the Kraken need to make a trade now or give the roster time to get healthy? 75% of you think that they need to make a trade now. And that's kind of where I'm at. I think that maybe some sort of shakeup needs to happen. Something needs to get injected into this lineup. Some sort of, different mentality, because whatever they're doing right now is just, it's not working. And they keep repeating the same result now, multiple games this year. And again, we're not out of it. We don't need to panic just yet, but I have some serious concerns, and I'm sure a lot of people do in the organization. So let's see what happens here over the next couple of days, and can they gather themselves against Edmonton? We'll see. Shots on goal tonight, 19 shots for Seattle, and one of those came in the third period. We'll look at that. If I had told you that before the game happened, that the Kraken were going to put up one shot in the third period after just, absolutely getting chewed out by their coach on Sunday for that exact issue, and we have the same result. Yeah, I'm not thrilled. Okay, so 32 shots on goal for the Avs. They win 52% of the faceoffs. Power play 2 of 6. So undisciplined, not enough shots, not enough consistency. Everything just not great for Seattle. Okay, so here's the shots by period, and I have the game flow, but there's here one shot in the third. I guess I shouldn't be laughing, but it kind of becomes comical at this point. Like, what? Are you kidding me? One. Josh says, what do you think explains this team looking so different than last season? Is it simply the few trades we had? I just don't buy it. Yeah, I don't either. I don't think losing Spronger and Donato, among a few others, is the reason. I feel like it's just a commitment to the type of system that this team wants to play from the top down. They have to play, and you'll hear this on the professional broadcast over at Root, the type of defensive game that this team has to play and forecheck requires a dialed-in effort every night. We don't have the talent like some of the other teams do in the league. We don't have a Cale Makar. We don't have a Nate McKinnon, unfortunately. I love some of our superstars, but they're not elite at that level. And so you can't take games off. At this juncture with this team, the structure that we have in the roster, the players that we have, the chemistry, we've got to grind it out every night. They've got to be dialed in on the forecheck, and they have to be in their lanes defensively. You got to be blocking shots, and you got to collapse to the net, and they're just not doing all of those simple things, and it's costing them every night. And on top of that, if you're not going to do those things, at least get your freaking legs moving in the second and third period. I could have gone out in the third period and had a shot. Okay? I could have. I guarantee you. So for these elite level pro players to not put up more than one shot in the third is it's embarrassing. They're probably pretty embarrassed tonight. And again, I'm pretty positive here most of the time. So I can't even imagine some of the flames coming out of people and the anger that's probably occurring on X.com right now. So yeah, we'll see. Probably a lot of meltdowns over there. I'm doing my best to keep it steady, but this is just completely unacceptable this many times now that we've seen it. So that's kind of my thoughts, Josh. Let me know. What do you think? What do you think explains the team looking so different? You say you don't buy it, and I appreciate that, but I kind of want to know a little more detail there if you're still listening. And anybody else that's still on. Not super busy in the chat. Let's hear from you guys. I figured you'd be a little bit wound up, but even Ty kind of faded away. He's driving home tonight, so I'll probably get his thoughts. We'll do a podcast here soon. Gonna have a couple people on, probably audio only. It's gonna happen. But yeah, this is not good. Okay, so here's that flow chart I was talking about. This is from Natural Stat Trick. And I cut it off right before the third period started, but I would bet it got even worse. But I mean, just follow the line. This is really advanced type metrics. You know, it's Corsi. It's not super advanced, but it is an advanced metric, but it's not hard to follow the flow. Just watch, where's the line go for the Kraken? All the way off a cliff. So, picture worth 1,000 words once again. Wowzers. Okay, let's get to the 3 stars. This doesn't have to be too long tonight. I'm feeling frustrated, but that's part of the show. Post-game rapid reaction. I'm going to get on here. I'm going to react to the game, tell the story, let you guys know how I'm feeling, because these are my instantaneous thoughts after watching this. That's how the show works. And you guys get to do the same. You get to share with me in the chat and vote on the poll question. Josh says, I'm pretty new to hockey and I'm learning a lot, but I'm just grateful we have hockey in Seattle. And yeah, that doesn't get lost on me for sure. Totally agree there. You know, I've been a hockey fan my entire life. Grew up watching the San Jose Sharks. Huge fan of the Sharks. They're having a pretty tough year. Yeah, and if you want to watch some really bad hockey, go watch the Sharks for a couple of nights. They are not good. But yeah, Josh, I totally get it. Definitely extremely grateful here. You know, I do say that a lot on the channel. Tonight's not going to be the night where I'm like over the moon about it just because it was bad. But yes, always very grateful to have the pro team in the market here. And thank you guys for being on the channel tonight and on the stream, sharing your thoughts. It's been therapeutic is what I'll say tonight, being able to talk through it with you guys. Okay, 3 stars. Like I said, all Avs, Rantanen, Taves, and Georgiev, 18 saves. I feel like that's kind of a troll 3rd star there. They didn't have any shots in the third. One shot in the 3rd period. But yeah, Georgiev. Yeah, okay. We'll just keep moving here. Standings. Let me adjust those a little bit. And this is why I say keep it all in perspective, because as bad as this feels, it could be worse, believe it or not. San Jose Sharks 2-12-1. Kraken 5-7-3 now. And you're chasing Anaheim, Los Angeles, Vancouver. And that gap starts to get a little bit bigger, right? You're just a few points behind Anaheim, but they've got the game in hand. So does Los Angeles, and they've got 6 points on you. So that's what I'm saying. Like, as that gap starts to grow a little bit, you start getting a little bit more, hopefully getting some more urgency. But yeah, you don't want to get the hole so deep that you can't dig out of it, and it starting to look that way just a little bit based on how this team is performing night in and night out. I think I'd feel better if they were a little more consistent and had this same record, but yeah, this is just not good. Okay, so let's look at the schedule just ahead of us here. And like I said, I really feel like the game flow. Whoa, it's not December yet. Hold on a minute. I think I need to fix this. Oh. What's this one here? We'll get that off the screen. There we go. Wednesday the 15th. That's the look ahead. That's all the way out to December. So Oilers, 5:30 p.m. on Wednesday. Let's see what team shows up Wednesday. It may have a different look. You never know. This business is not patient, and it can be pretty brutal sometimes. So we'll see what happens. Wednesday night, 5:30 p.m. in Edmonton, and then back home for the Islanders. A quick one back up to Vancouver Saturday, and then a 3-game homestand after that, you guys, that's a look ahead. Thanks for being here tonight. I do appreciate having you guys, whether it's live or in the replay. Leave a comment if you're watching the replay, and thanks for all your contributions in the chat tonight. Hit that like button before you log out tonight, and hopefully you guys can get some sleep without tossing and turning too much, but yikes, Kraken. Ugh. Gonna want to erase the brain after that one. Anyhow, keep up with me over on X. In the meantime, you guys, we can chat over there, but we'll talk to you on Wednesday night. That's it for tonight's show. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll catch you on another stream here real soon at Sasquatch NHL. Have a good night.